My name's Dean. This is my channel, 1/35 scale modeler. If you do like the videos I'm making, please consider subscribing. And if you like any of the videos that I have made, then do smash those like buttons because it does help. As you can see here, we've got the German Tiger 1. This is a mid-production model produced by Tamiya. It's model number 35194. See on the edge here. Box art, you've got winter camouflage, you've got some sort of dark yellow and green dark tone, just a copy of what was on the other side, and this is the yellow and dark tone for the 506th Battalion, Panzer Battalion, October 1943, and it shows the commander in a cupola. This model doesn't feature Zimmerit, it says it clearly on the box, and so this picture on the front, this sort of box art, is just a graphic representation of a Tiger 1. It's not a representation of the finished model inside the box. It comes with some interior detailing. It's got separately moulded realistic tracks. It includes a realistic figure standing in a cupola, and it does have a suspension system. Okay, so let's have a little look in the box. So you get your instruction booklet, a couple bag of sprues, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 5 bags of sprues. You get the whole tub, tech tips, and you also get a set of decals. I've done a review recently of the Yak Tiger, and now I've got this hole here. These are all 1/35 scale models. I just want to show you the difference in the size of some of these vehicles. So this would be front, back, front. So this would be like a Panzer III. That's a Tiger. So you can see there, it's a massive difference. And then you have the Yak Tiger that comes along. Now the Yak Tiger is definitely much longer, and the reason why they lose the width, in my opinion, I'm not saying this is definite, but in the Tiger 1, this has a working turret that will spin completely 360. This doesn't. So the working turret fighting compartment, the Yak Tiger was a static fighting compartment, and so it didn't need to be, I'd say, as big to carry any of the extra gears and stuff that would need to be turning that. Anyway, that's just a side note. I thought I'd just show the difference in size of these vehicles. Right, let's look at the instruction booklet. So this is a mid-production model Tamiya. This is a 1995 version. So the booklet's in black and white. Why they produced it? It was in reaction to the Russian T-34. Okay, no other information. Then we go to the next page, and here they're calling out some cautions and precautions you need to take, just to be careful when you're building. You know, so when you're cutting, be careful not to get anything in your eyes. Be careful of any fumes when you're using their cement or glues. What they're asking you is to gather together some tools to use. In section 1, they're asking you to start building up the suspension arms, add on the idlers, put on the back plate for the rear of the vehicle. There are colour callouts as they go along. Then you've got the sprockets and the road wheels put together. And then they're adding these to the vehicle. Now there's an important piece here to note, and it's more to do with the construction of the road wheels. So they're calling that out. So the road wheels kind of are sort of, you know, offset against each other, so they don't, you know, clash. And as with any tank that German made once they started getting to the sort of size of the Tigers and the Panthers and the Jagdtigers. The number of wheels increased, and this was really just to ensure that the load due to the weight of the vehicle was spread evenly. They then call out a track jig, and they're actually giving you separate tracks. They then provide a track jig, and this is where you build your tracks. These will be like movable tracks, or give you the sag. Then they're saying to add them to the vehicle, and they're showing you the alignment call out here. So on the idler, that sits between the guide horns. Then you've got the road wheels that are offset with the outer wheels, I think, or the inner wheels in the guide horns. And then you've got the sprocket that sits either side of the guide horns. You then start building up the whole parts. These look like the exhausts, the jack, a gun travel lock. The exhaust that you built are then added to the rear of the vehicle. They're then enclosed. You then put on some flaps, like mud flaps. You then got the crank handle, C-hook. Then these are exhaust protectors. These got damaged quite a lot, so there's an opportunity here for you maybe to add a little damage to that. These got dented, so warm them up a bit, get a screwdriver or something and just gently prod them in, and you'll get that sort of like effect of being bumped. Then you've got the jack and the jack handle added to the rear. From there they move to the upper hull deck, and they're looking at the glacis plate here fitting at the front. Then you're adding bits and pieces to the front section here as well, in front of that plate, and that's the machine gun ball. Looks like some kind of lights and other pieces. Hatch assembly then is made. This will go on the rear of the engine deck. So this would have been how they would have accessed the engine for inspection. I think a whole lot more would have had to have come off if they needed to remove the engine. Even in field they could have done that. These are then the hatches that go on the upper hull, and they've got some vision port periscopes as well. Might be interesting to see if we get any clear parts for those. They continue then hull construction, add in the engine access hatch, tow hooks. There doesn't seem to be any wire in there, so these will probably be extruded as moulds. Crowbars added, C-hook there, wooden block, I think that is. That would have been a block that would have maybe gone underneath the jack, so when they're jacking it up it doesn't sink down too far. They're asking you to hold this down temporarily, and they've kind of got you an issue of cellophane there. Front hatch can open, so be careful about how you fix that. Then you've got some other bits and pieces that are added. Axe, heavy blow hammer, shovel, wire cutters. This is the gun travel lock, and this would be on the rear of the engine, rear of the upper hull on the engine deck. So when it was travelling, the whole turret would have been turned around and faced in reverse, and that would have been locked in position. Then they move on to building the breech. So that's so just pay careful attention to how that's assembled. That's then part of the construction of the turret and how they go together. There seems to be some kind of locking pins that are added in there, so that you can, when you add it onto the upper deck, it can rotate. Then the gun barrel is assembled, and this is a two-piece gun barrel. So be careful, make sure when you don't overload it with the cement, make it minimal, let the capillary action take most of the glue along when you're holding it together. Once that's done, you can buff it with a soft sanding stick, perhaps use some sprue glue. Then they're just finishing off adding some hatches, and these can be set in a closed or open position. Cupola rings added, some sort of vent. Then they're adding some tracks to the side of the turret. This is quite common. It was an opportunity to add extra protection to the side of the vehicle, whilst, you know, knowing that they were spares. You've got a storage box that goes onto the back of the turret, and they're adding more tracks here. Looks like there's an MG 34 or 42 being added to the top of the vehicle as well. The turret is then attached to the hull, shackles are fitted, and then they ask you to finish off with the figure that would be in the cupola. And then they kind of give you a brief explanation about the colouring and how it would have been painted. And then at the last page, they're showing you 2 division markings. You've got the Panzer Battalion 502 in Russia in autumn 1944, and you've got the 501st Panzer Battalion in Russia in December 1943, almost a year earlier. And that's the construction booklet. Okay, my take that. Sprues. There's tech tips, but we've covered them so many times. These are your road wheels, and as I mentioned before, there's lots of them. Print quality, or the moulding quality, is very good. Idler wheels sprocket. These are some hatches. That's the travel lock for the gun in a closed position. You've got your shackles here. Shovel. Lots of road wheels. Print quality's very good. Might be a little bit of cleaning to do on some of this. Not sure. But overall I'm quite pleased. And then these are the suspension arms. So this would be for the left or the right side. I don't think these are sided. And again, there's more here. Same, you know, idler, sprocket. And all they're doing is they're just giving you another sprue. So there will be spares to go in your spare box. For instance, the travel hook, shovel, for instance. But overall, very good. This is the upper deck, part of the turret top. This is the rear engine deck. Front glacis plate. That's the front glacis plate. This is part of, I think this is where they build up the turret, the gun. Commander here. Print quality. Some work. Some flash cleanup, but very minimal. Jet pin marks, you can see, are in the right places on the inside. So you've got quite a lot of material here. So that's the stowage box. There's the MG 34 or 42. You've got your tools, heavy blow hammer, pry bar, cutters, axe, shovel. These are the towing cables, and they're cast or injection molded. These are the exhaust covers, which I said, you know, if you heat these up gently, and then you can just, even with a pencil, just gently press it in. You don't need to press too hard, because don't forget, it's a 1/35 scale model, so the damage, whilst would have been significant on that vehicle, when it's reduced down, it doesn't need to be as big and as you know, outrageous. More towing cables laid on the edge. This is your gun barrel with the muzzle brake. Nice clean, not much flash to clean up here at all. There seems to be two types of gun being offered here, so when you're looking at the instruction manuals about adding these, just pay careful attention to what one you want to use. Side skirts, these are the jigs for when you're putting the tracks together. Jack, part of the breech assembly, some hooks, fire extinguisher, lots of interesting, lots of interest, and well printed, and well molded. These are the tracks. You get 3 sets of these. You can see nice detail. You've got your guide horns. So if you can see, you've got your guide horns there, and they clip together. I think when you clip them together, they're glued, and then what happens is you leave them to dry for a little while, and before they're fully cured, I think you have to start moving them. So what happens is it kind of has that, the cement sort of melts the plastic, but then you kind of free it up and it should be locked in place. I'm not quite sure how that'll work out, but again, pay careful attention to the instructions. I think they do explain it in there. But these are printed well, and thankfully there's going to be no cleanup required. I mean, on the top of these you've got these metal pieces here. Once these are painted, a little bit of a graphite pencil on those, and you can actually make those look like they've been running on a road or something, very nice. So yeah, you've got you've got two battalion markings. Yeah, it's Tamiya card, so it should be fine. Yeah, it is what it is, really. So what do I think? Tiger 1, Tamiya, the 194 model. Yes, this would be like a beginner to intermediate. There's nothing too challenging here. I think the two challenging things for me would be the assembly of the barrel and the tracks they've provided. But I think if you look at the instructions carefully about the tracks, you'll be fine. With the assembly of the barrel, as I've mentioned before, you may need to use something called Sprue glue. And if you know what Sprue glue is, fine. If you don't, then drop it in the comments. And if I get enough feedback on the Sprue glue, then I might just do a video about it, just to sort of help you with that. But this is typical Tamiya. Good, clean plastic. Test fit everything, but I'm sure it will go together very well. And I thoroughly recommend it. Thank you.